What's up, YouTube? In this video, we're going to be looking at if statements in Java, how they're used, how we can use if statements to put logic into our code, and we're going to have some fun with them. So, welcome to the video. Let's get started. Okay, and we're back. So like the intro said, today we're going to be looking at if statements in Java. Now, what an if statement is basically a piece of code that's going to execute or run if a certain condition is found to be true, or if you manipulate it carefully, found to be false. So what that kind of means in human terms is that if statements are a good way for us as humans to kind of code in logic into our program. So we're going to evaluate different statements. We have different ways of looking at these statements and then making a decision based on what the outcome of these statements are. So our setup here currently is we're importing a scanner. I've got a little input already set up, and we've already got a public class and as well as a main set up, as well as a PowerShell running on the right, so that way we can look at the code as we code it. So let's get started. So in order to show you what an if statement does, I think the best way is to kind of run through a little scenario in which you might use an if statement in your life. So say it's a late at night and you're coming home from the library after spending hours of coding. And you know, this was a good coding assignment, you got it done, so you want to reward yourself. So what do you want to reward yourself with? Well, you look up into the sky and you see the golden arches. And as soon as you see those arches, you know you want an ice cream cone. So the issue here is that you know that you're going to be pretty tired and hazy after you get done coding. So you went ahead and you wrote yourself a computer program that's going to ask you a couple questions to make sure you know it's a good idea to go get that ice cream cone. So let's get started with that. So like I said, we already have a scanner input set up. So, let's do something logical. Let's make it ask us a question. So we're going to start with the system.out.println. And it's going to ask a question. Let's say it asks a very important question, rather. Is the McDonald's open? You know, this is really important because if the McDonald's is open, we're not going to be able to get our ice cream cone. All right, so there's that. And then we're going to set up basically our return line, what we're going to get back from the user. We're going to say it's a string, and we're just going to call it open equals input next. So what that's doing, it's basically recalling the scanner input, and it's going to wait for us to type a response to the question. So let's go ahead and save this and make sure that this is running properly. Once again, we're going to Java C, name of the file. There are no problems there. Oops. Is McDonald's open? Yes. Okay, cool. So it's running there. It's asking us a question. The question functionality is good. Now here's where we're going to get into something new. We're going to we want us not only just to be able to say it's open, because even though we could tell it's open, we may not be even in a mind state to basically say, oh, well, if it's open, then I should do this. So we're going to make the computer do that for us. So we're going to do that by using an if statement. So we're going to come down a couple lines and we're going to say if. So the syntax for an if statement is you're going to type if, you're going to have a set of parentheses, and then you're going to have a set of curly brackets like that. And I'm going to go ahead and hit enter in between the two curly brackets, so that way we get this kind of nice flow looking kind of look to it. We understand what's going to happen. So the way this works is that if the statement inside these two parentheses right here evaluates to true, this if statement will execute. So let's come up with a way of basically, we need to make a Boolean out of this. So the question we want to ask ourselves is, well, if the McDonald's is open, we want to go inside and get an ice cream cone. So we need to check and make sure that the string that we asked for open is equal to yes. So we're going to do that. There's a couple ways to do that in Java, but the way we're going to do that, we're going to take the name of the string. We're going to say open. We're going to say dot equals. We're going to do parentheses, quotes, and we're going to say yes. Okay, there we go. So now that theoretically should evaluate to true. So now we have a statement and we're going to say, okay, well, what needs to happen if the answer is yes? We're going to come down here to this line and we're going to say, well, we want the computer to tell us that we should go in and get an ice cream cone. So we're going to say system.out.println, and we're going to make it tell us, then go get an ice cream cone. All right. Oh, I almost messed up there. That should be dot equals, not dot equal. All right, now we're going to control S to save, and we're going to compile it and see if we have any issues. Uh-oh, that's not how you print line either. My apologies. All right, let's do that again. There we go. Run it. Is McDonald's open? Yes. You go get an ice cream cone. Awesome, we can go get an ice cream cone. But once again, like I said, this may be late at night, so there is a good chance that, you got the times off, McDonald's may not be open. Well, in the case of when we have something that doesn't happen, we also have an accompanying statement with if called else. So the way we're going to type this else, we're going to come down one here, we're going to hit enter, we're going to type else. Now else basically is going to evaluate, it's going to execute if this statement is not equal to true, okay? So we don't really need to add those conditional parentheses. We're just going to open brackets like this. I'm going to hit enter so we can see what happens. So if it's not open, then, well, let's tell the computer to tell us to go home and go to sleep, because we need to get some sleep. So we're going to say system.out println, then go get some sleep. Okay. So let's save this, come over here, compile it, no problems, and run it. Is McDonald's open? Let's say no, and go get some sleep. Okay, that's probably good. Well, let's say it's late at night and, you're not necessarily able to express in words. Sometimes we go nonverbal and we can't speak, so let's make the computer, kind of look at our face, if you will. So up here, back in on the statement where we ask if it's open, well, what if we can't speak? Well, let's use an or statement. Let's see what happens. So the way you type an or in Java is you're going to type these two little lines there, and that's going to say or. So what or does, if one of these conditions is true, then the whole thing is going to be true and the if statement will run. So let's say instead of opening is it going to be equal to yes, let's say open dot equals a smiley face. Because, whenever you see those golden arches, I don't know about you, but my soul is just lit up with happiness and enthusiasm, okay? So let's save this and see if this works. So we're going to go down here, compile it, run it. Is McDonald's open? Well, I'm too tired to speak, but I sure am smiling when I see the lights from those arches. Uh-oh, it didn't work. What happened? Well, let's go back up here and see what happened. Open dot equals. Oh, I see what I did. I shouldn't have had these two spaces here. My mistake. Let's try that again. Is McDonald's open? Yeah. They go get an ice cream cone. Perfect. Moreover, what this allows us to also do is, boom, run it again. Is McDonald's open? No, but I can't speak. I'm just sad. Go home and get some sleep. That's good. All right, guys, I hope this little silly example kind of lets you see just a simple way of how these if statements works and how you can also use an else statement to kind of elevate the systematic coding and how you can use these statements to kind of program in logic into your code. Thank you for watching.